And welcome back to The Wrap. I'm Joe Concha along with Rick Unger, Heather Hansen, and Brad Hirschfield. Senator Marco Rubio taking on Hillary Clinton on Fox's O'Reilly Factor, where he said this.
Are you going to say that Hillary Clinton's dishonest?
Look, we don't need any drama in the White House. At this incredible hinge moment in our history, you're going to pack in the White House two people who have been everywhere they go, bring drama with them. This country cannot afford another 8 years of a soap opera.
Are you going to point out what the dramas are?
Absolutely. We see what they are already.
So you're going to go and say, listen, here, look, I would, if I were running for president, I'd say, listen, I want the FBI to investigate the Clinton Foundation.
Well, her time at the as Secretary of State is now filled with drama.
Mr. Rubio continuing with the whole Clinton drama theme.
The foundation is filled with drama because of ties between the foundation and business deals.
Do you want an FBI investigation into that?
If it's appropriate. First of all,
do you think it's appropriate?
Well, we don't know enough about it yet.
But how are we ever going to know if the FBI doesn't investigate?
Well, ultimately, I think we are going to find out more about these cases. And in particular, well, you know, the House Oversight Committee is looking into the email problems, and from that, I think we'll know a lot more information.
But the House looked at the IRS scandal and couldn't get to
and that's because the Justice Department doesn't want to move forward on it under this president.
Mr. Rubio says no drama in the White House. Brad Hirschfield, can a Clinton presidency be drama-free?
I can't imagine how, although I find the whole thing kind of ironic because we've had no drama Obama for 8 years, and I don't think Rubio is a big fan of the conclusions he's made. I do think it's funny that in this case, the journalist is the one inflaming things, and the politician is the one who has the dignity to say, let's proceed slowly. And I think the issue with the drama from the Clintons is that they feel above it all in almost every situation. And I think when you actually are the president, when you are above most things, it's really important to know you're not above the law. You're not above public perception. In fact, the more power you have, the more important that becomes, and that's my problem with the way they do business.
Heather, in terms of being above it all, she appears to be above the press as well, hasn't answered a question now, any question, for 24 days.
Well, and you see the media really, really getting angry with her. Jake Tapper today mentioned, you know, when she ever answers a question, we'll be able to ask her that. Mika in Morning Joe was talking about her handlers need to let her talk. I mean, she's really doing herself.
Handlers need to let her talk?
Yeah, that's what
she's not running the campaign?
It is. She's doing herself such a disservice because as soon as she comes out, she now is going to be questioned on everything as opposed to sort of parsing it out and dealing with the good and the bad. Mm-hmm. And as we've seen her husband do not so well after a little break, it really lays a foundation for a very, very uncomfortable first interview for her.
It is telling that the Washington Post, which is, you know, no one's going to accuse of being conservative, nor liberal for that matter. They're a very respected paper. Actually has a clock that is keeping track of how many minutes it has been since she's answered a question.
You guys know how sometimes when we're sitting here watching video, I get that smirk on my face that's really annoying to everybody. Yeah. Well, this was one of them. Because as I'm sitting here watching that video, I'm thinking of all the dramas that I know Marco Rubio has in store for him, should anybody decide they want to vote for him. So Senator Rubio, remember this day, because I'm going to. And you too have your dramas coming. It's not just the Clintons.
Wow, Rick, you sounded like Dirty Harry just there.
That's right.
I think he handled that interview extremely well. As Brad said, I mean, he really looked like an elder statesman as opposed to the drama-filled Clintons.
He won't think so in a few months when his drama's coming.
That wasn't much of an interview. That was a tennis match where both guys are at the neck going back and forth.
That's actually what it was.
Hey, speaking of the Clintons, ABC's George Stephanopoulos apologizing today for not disclosing to ABC or his viewers that he gave $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation. That's $25,000 each year. As you may know, George was an aide in the Clinton White House, that was him way back when, and says he will not moderate an ABC debate, but he will continue to cover the 2016 election. For ABC's part, they have decided to take no disciplinary actions. Rick, was this a simple mistake, and should ABC allow Stephanopoulos to continue to cover the Clintons?
Well, it's you know, obviously you can't cover the election without covering the Clintons, at least at this point. Look, it was probably silly. You know, what really does bother me about all of this, the Clinton Foundation, prior to Hillary running and all of this stuff coming out in the book, it does really good work, and it really is.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, I do understand that. I do, and I'm not ignoring the point. I just do want to say though that it's kind of a shame because maybe she shouldn't have run for president, because what the foundation does is probably more of an influence in the world than she might be.
Would you have suspended Stephanopoulos just because when he interviews a Peter Schweitzer, who is calling the Clinton Foundation, the foundation he
has put money into,
and didn't disclose before that interview, saying, by the way, I donated. there has to be some sort of disciplinary action here by ABC.
Well,
and
I
I'm
think
shocked they're saying.
Well,
nothing
no, they're
to see here.
removing him. You could certainly argue it's not enough, but they're removing him from moderating the debates, which is not a small thing for a journalist.
Sure,
but
if he
I
was picked in the first
But
place.
I take your point. I'm not going to sit here and vehemently argue against you because I get it.
He was just on the Daily Show weeks ago, asked about the Clinton Foundation, didn't say there that he donated, and also said, and I'm paraphrasing, something about some people may expect a quid pro quo. I mean, that's a problem.
Quickly, Brett.
Yeah, it's just, you gotta come clean about
right.
this stuff. It's always the denial afterwards that's worse than the original sin. It was 3 gifts. He didn't forget. He made a decision. This guy's like a child of the Clintons. He spent most of his adult life with them. He can't be covering them that way. It's just not right.
That'll be the last word on that. Coming up next, is President Obama sexist? We'll tell you who thinks so and why after the break. Stay right there.